What is up, everyone? Welcome to the football chat box. My name is Ryan, and today we are going to be doing a free hit draft. Now, a lot of managers are playing the free hit chip for game week 27, and it's kind of expected because you would have tripled up on Arsenal and Liverpool players in game week 26, which means now because they are not having a game and they're blanking, and even if you had like Chelsea assets who are also blanking, then you're most likely going to be free hitting. Now, we are going to be looking at the best, not the best, or at least some good options for free hit from goalkeeper, defense, midfield, and forward. So we're going to be doing all of that. And if that helps you, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button as well, and comment down below if you're actually playing the free hit chip. If not, are you looking to play it? What are your doubts about it and all of that? Now, let's get started. Now, before we look into the team itself, let's look at the reasons you want to play the free hit chip, right? Now, you could not, like I mentioned before, you don't have a full 11, and because you want to get a full 11, you can't do it maybe with one or two free transfers, or you can't take a -4 and get a full 11. So instead you want to try and play the free hit. Then that makes sense, because if you can't get a full 11 even with one hit, and you want to maximize your potential, then you probably have to play the free hit. Especially if you have two free hit options, then it's a bit more easier to do it. If for some reason, right, you, let's say, can field a full 11, but your 11 isn't that great, and you are thinking whether you want to play the free hit, the question I will put to you is, see whether the free hit team you make can be 25 points, 20 to 25 points more than what you think your current team could reach. If your free hit team could reach maybe 20 to 25 points more, or you think it could reach more 20 to 25 points more than your current team, even if you were to be able to fill like a full 11 with your current team, then maybe it's kind of worth playing the free hit chip, because then that you want to see 20 to 25 points more than your current team for a free hit chip as well. So for most like bench boost, free hit, if you want to be successful, then you want to try and aim for that expected like gain compared to your current team. So if those kind of situations happen, then maybe you could play the free hit chip. So even if you have two free hits, doesn't mean you necessarily have to play the free hit chip this week, but if you can get to that gain, then it's kind of worth playing the free hit chip. So having said all of that, let's get into our goalkeepers for who could be really good for a free hit. Now, goalkeepers, we're going to be putting this based on transfer ins, because then you kind of get what everyone is going at. What I would say is, don't try and copy everyone. Even here, I'm going to give you more than 15 as options, because we're not trying to copy people, because end of the day, if everyone gets the same players on a free hit, then you're not really going to gain an advantage over most players. And most active managers will be playing their free hit, so you need to try and gain over the active managers. Try and find a few differentials in the players that I give you. Now, in goalkeeper, I think the teams that have the best defensive or at least in terms of defensive fixtures, would be Man United against Watford. It would probably be, to be honest, Wolves versus West Ham. You could probably see Wolves also making a clean sheet. Man City versus Everton, although I think options are better in terms of their defense and attacking assets, so we won't pick their goalkeeper. And apart from that, I think the other option you could try for is Nick Pope, because he doubles. Now, because you're playing the free hit chip, you want to try and maximize also on your Burnley players in terms of getting them, in terms of potential. Now, even if you're not playing the free hit chip, maybe this could help you, because you could probably see what players you can bring in terms of transfers. So in terms of goalkeepers, we're going to go with David De Gea. Is my number one pick. My number two pick will probably be Nick Pope as my number two pick. These two are pretty good options. You can pick either one of them. Depends on how you go with your three Burnley players. You could probably go one defensive, one goalkeeper, and one striker in three Burnley. You don't necessarily have to go three Burnley as well. You could probably just go a defensive in terms of maybe either goalkeeper or a defender, and you could probably go a striker. In terms of other goalkeeping options, Jose Sa is another really good option that you could probably add. And apart from Jose Sa, you could also go for, who else has good fixtures? You could probably go for the Southampton goalkeeper. In Fraser Foster. But I mean, I think I'm happy with the three that I mentioned to you. But Fraser Foster is also not a bad option for this game week because they're playing Norwich, and I think Southampton are a bit more better than Norwich. Those are the 4 keepers I will go. Don't underestimate Newcastle as well. Newcastle have improved defensively as well, so you could probably look into them. But I'm not too fond of the Newcastle goalkeepers, and especially defense. They don't have Trippier as well, so not really fond of it. So that's the goalkeeping options. De Gea, Pope, Josesa will be my top 3. Now let's go into defense, right? Now in defense, I think you want to get Cancelo in. If you didn't watch the game before, last game he looked really good and should have got at least 1 attack in return against Spurs. So I would have him in. I think he's a definite play. Apart from him, now you have the option of going 2 City defense or 2 City attack. I'll probably go 2 City attack because of the fact that they're playing Everton. If they were playing someone else, maybe I would favor the 2 City defense, but because they're playing Everton, I'm more favored towards their attacking assets. So we'll go with 1 City attacker in terms of Cancelo. In terms of other defensive assets, you can go for Livramento possibly for Southampton player. I would go for a Wolves asset. In Wolves asset, I would probably go for maybe either a Nelson Semedo or a Saiz. Let's go with Saiz. Ait Nouri wouldn't be too bad of an option, but he does have rotation threat, which is a problem. So which is why I'm like, we'll go with a more safety pick in terms of Saiz. You could also go with, who else has good options? You could go with a United defender. Now, I know Dalot didn't play on the weekend. I think that is to do with the fact that he was being rested for the Champions League fixture. So if you wanted, you could probably go with Dalot. But if you wanted to be safe, you could probably go with Maguire. Now, obviously not the best of picks. I wouldn't really recommend it. But if you wanted, you could go with Maguire. But I think let's go a bit more attacking because you want to be attacking on the free hit. And if they don't play, obviously you have your bench as well. That's why you have a free hit. You have a decent bench as well. So you could probably go Diego Dalot. The other one I would go would be for a Burnley defender. Now for Burnley defenders, you could probably look into Ben Mee, good option. Now Tarkowski, he didn't play because he has COVID apparently. I don't know if he'll be fit before then. So you probably have to check the Spurs game and see whether he plays or not. But for me, it's between Ben Mee and Roberts. I like Roberts as a good option, going for the fullback again. But Ben Mee also set piece threat could be a good option. Depending on where your budget is, you probably want to look into that and probably look at options. So Ben Mee or Roberts is a pretty good option for defense. Any other defenders that I think will be interesting? You could probably go Diaz if you wanted to go double City defense. Diaz could be an option. Or you could go double Wolves defense in Connor Cody as well, who's in here. Apart from that, I wouldn't really look at any other defensive assets because I don't think any other team has that great in terms of defensive assets. Spurs, we won't look at the defensive players because we can't really predict who their defensive assets are going to be. And also, they're playing Leeds, and Leeds can attack as well. Leeds are a very attacking team as well. So let's move into midfield. Now, midfield, this is where I think a lot of people will be looking to put their money in. So, first up, Heung-min Son. Playing Leeds, I think he is a must-have. Apart from Heung-min Son, in terms of midfield, I've seen a lot of people go for Bruno Fernandes. Now, I personally have Bruno Fernandes, but I'm thinking of actually removing Bruno Fernandes because I'm not playing a free hit. I'm going to be fielding a full 11. So, because of that, I want to try and target the City attackers mostly. So, which is why I'm thinking of removing my Bruno Fernandes in favor of a City attacker, a City midfielder. But Bruno Fernandes is not a bad option against Watford, although Watford have improved defensively, which is why I'm kind of like thinking of removing my Bruno Fernandes, but he is also a decent option. City players are ones you want to have a look at for your midfield, and for me, the top 2 City players would be Sterling and Mahrez. Now, if you looked at the Everton match, Everton were quite weak on their left side, which is where Sterling kind of operates mostly for City. He likes to be on that left side or be at the edge of the box. And Mahrez, on the other hand, crosses into the left. So he crosses from the right to the left, or he takes a shot from the right to the left. So sometimes it could have benefit to have both of them, because Everton, if you look at the heat maps as well, where if you look at the chances considered maps, you will see that they're pretty weak on the attacking team's left. So Everton's right back and right centre back position, that is where they're weak. So you want to try and target that. Sterling could be a really good option. I'm going for him. Mahrez also could be a good option. Apart from that, I think you could also try De Bruyne. I think De Bruyne will be a guaranteed player to play. And apart from De Bruyne, if you wanted to kind of risk it, it's a punt, but Gundogan did play the last game 90 minutes, looked pretty good. I think he could also maybe play. If you don't have the funds to get to Mahrez, you could probably play Gundogan. But my top two would be Sterling and Mahrez from the City assets. But then you could also look at KDB and Gundogan as well. In terms of other midfield players, I do like, I must say, James Ward-Prowse. He's playing Norwich, so I do really like his potential. He's also on set pieces for Southampton, so you could possibly get some goals from him. Apart from James Ward-Prowse, who else could be a decent option? I should mention this. If you're looking for a Man United midfielder, and if you don't want to have Fernandes, you could probably look at Sancho. Sancho's looked really good recently, and he's kind of got into that form now of what Manchester United bought him for. So he's looking really good. Last few games, he's kind of looked really good as well, and the numbers are showing it as well. The points returns are also showing it. So Sancho is another really good pick that you could probably get in your midfield. I like him a lot as well, so you could probably look into him. In terms of anyone else, I would probably look into... I won't go a Burnley midfielder. I don't really think Cornet is that great of an option. He isn't really pulling up any trees right now, so probably wouldn't go towards him. But there was anyone else to target. See, this is the thing, right? There aren't that many other players. If you wanted, you could try Bowen against Wolves, but Wolves are strong defensively, so I wouldn't really go for West Ham assets on a free hit especially. There isn't anyone else. I guess Rafinha you could try, because Spurs aren't the strongest defensively as well, but no one really stands out in midfield, which is why there's going to be a lot of investment in City, Spurs, United. Southampton assets as well could be a good option, but that's basically it. Let's go to forward line. Oh, by the way, you could take a cheeky punt on a Leicester midfielder if you wanted to, maybe a Tielemans, but I wouldn't really go looking towards that. But he could be an option against Burnley. Burnley aren't that great defensive, but you could probably get a cheeky punt over there. Let's go to the forward line, shall we? Oh, I should probably mention Watford. Now, Sa is back, and if Watford are to do anything, it's all going to be through this guy. United's defense isn't strong. Even though they're conceding less chances, they still concede goals. So if you wanted another punt, Ismail Sa. So if you guys want to take a few punts, because free hit, I mean, it's a free hit chip, you might as well take a few punts. Ismail Sa is another good option as well. But probably you would want to watch Watford's next game in game week 26, which is against Arsenal, and see how he kind of performs, because that will give you a good indication to how he might perform against Man United as well. So maybe have a look and see what you think. Now, forward line. Weghorst, probably straightforward answer. Looked pretty good against Brighton. Let's see how he does against Tottenham. And then after that, he's playing Crystal Palace and Leicester, both not the best in terms, especially Leicester's not the best in terms of defense. Weghorst could probably benefit from it. Apart from Weghorst, I do like Amanda Broha as well. He's also a really good option playing Norwich, especially for budget wise. If you wanted to fit, he could be a really good option. And the other player would be Shea Adams also, who is also not a bad option for Southampton. He could also be another option. So one of Broha or Shea Adams is a really good option. Apart from that, Harry Kane, especially against Burnley. Kane did look really good against Manchester City. So he does have the numbers to back it up as well. So he does have his numbers to back it up. So I think Kane is also another player I would have a look at. for me, if I was to build a squad, I guess you could go either one of Son or Kane if you wanted to. If you wanted to double up, you could probably double up as well. I would probably, if you wanted to do something, you could probably do Kane, and I would drop maybe Bruno Fernandes in favor of maybe Jadon Sancho. And because you won't be using two keepers, probably be using one keeper, then you could probably put a 4 million keeper in there. So you could probably put like a Ben Foster, because we know he kind of plays. And then you could probably use your funds elsewhere to upgrade someone else. So you could probably do something like this. You have your United cover in Sancho, you have your 2 City assets, you have your Spurs assets, you got your Southampton players as well to target Norwich. You got your Burnley players, Wolves. If you wanted a Wolves attack, you could probably try Jimenez if you wanted to. Another striking option. Jimenez is also a decent striking option if you wanted to try. He could be another one. And also, I should probably put this, is the other one is, I don't look past Brighton as well, because they are playing Aston Villa, who aren't great defensively. So Morpay could also be another good option as well if you wanted to have a look as another cheeky punt in terms of a third forward. If you wanted, you could probably double up on Southampton in terms of like a Livramento and a Ward-Prowse, and then have a Brighton cover as well in terms of Morpay against Aston Villa, who can't keep a clean sheet. And Luca Digne, who I got in, has been a big failure. So Morpay, not too bad against Aston Villa. I wouldn't put it past him. He could be a decent option. Apart from that, you could probably look at midfield again. You could probably look at Gallagher for Crystal Palace, maybe. Could work out, but I don't know. Probably not too favored on Crystal Palace at the moment. They're not in the best of forms as well, so I wouldn't really look at it. Apart from that, who else? I mentioned Rafinha. We've looked at Southampton, Norwich, Brentford, Newcastle. That's the kind of a game that I wouldn't really look into targeting. If you wanted to, you could probably look at St. Max from Newcastle. But I don't know if he's fit as well, so he probably has a knock. So probably might want to keep an eye out for that. Brighton, Aston Villa, we mentioned Morpay. He could be a decent option. Burnley, we mentioned the Burnley assets. We mentioned Man United assets as well. I wouldn't get Ronaldo. Personally, I think he might be rested for that game against Watford. We'll have to see how it goes, but I wouldn't really get him. I would stick to the midfield assets. Man City, we mentioned the Man City assets as well. Another cheeky punt in forward, if you were going maybe with one Man City asset, one Man City midfielder, you could probably look at is Gabriel Jesus injured? I don't know. You might want to see if Gabriel Jesus is going to be fit or not. Maybe, I don't know. If he is fit, he could be another option. West Ham, Wolves. We looked at the Wolves defense mainly because of the fact that West Ham are a decent team as well defensively. But mostly the points are going to be coming from Wolves' side in terms of their defense. If you wanted to, you could try Jimenez. You could take a punt on Jared Bowen as well in terms of midfield. It's a possibility. And then Burnley, Leicester, we looked into the Burnley players. In terms of Leicester, no one is really convincing. If you wanted, you could try Patterson Daka, but I think there are better forward options for your, like, from the other teams. Better forward options from the other teams. So anyways, that's probably what I'll look into going for. This should be possible to achieve. Oh, well, like, you could probably put Broha in here, and it should be easy to achieve for anyone, most likely. I have 0.6 in the bank as well, so it's probably easy to achieve something like this for people. It's up to you guys. I think this team is already looking pretty good. It could do quite a bit of damage, actually, when you look at this team specifically. So I've given you options. I've given you various options. Just don't stick to this team itself, because a lot of people will be going for these kind of teams. Try and get a few of the punts also I mentioned if you wanted to. It depends on your risk factor as well. But anyways, this is the team. We'll be talking more about it on the podcast tomorrow, so make sure to stay tuned for that. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. If you come up to this way, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button as well. Podcast tomorrow. We'll be doing the deadline day stream as well on the Saturday. On the Friday. Deadline day stream on the Friday, and team selection on the Thursday. So lots of content coming up. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button as well. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out. Oh yeah, ask any questions if you have any questions. I will answer them. Alright, until then, peace.